When I turned 24, I thought I had it all figured out. I had my own apartment, a job that was a ton of fun, and a business that was doing really well. However, I didn't end the year as well as I started it. Business started to die out, quit my job, and I had to move back home with my parents. It really felt like I was kind of moving in reverse. When my 25th birthday rolled around, I decided it was about time I got my life back on track, and for me, that started with getting a job. So I made a plan and I started grinding. I soon realized though it was a lot harder to land a job in this market than ever before. Job application after application, I haven't heard anything. But after a couple months, I finally got an interview from a company that I really wanted to work at. Shout out to my guy Arbab for helping me out with that. The reality soon hit in though that I'm not really ready to interview at all. In tech, there's these lead code questions that are the most difficult thing ever, and I haven't done any in a few years. So I decided it was time to start grinding. My whole life from that email revolved around prepping for the interview. It was just lead code questions every waking moment of my life. I wasn't spending time with my friends or family. I wasn't doing things I enjoy. It was just lead code. Basically, my day looked like I'd roll out of bed, answer a lead code question, even before brushing my teeth or anything. And then I'd go do my morning routine, solve another few lead code questions until I ate my first meal, and then lead coded again pretty much until I had to eat dinner, and then I'd go back to lead coding until I fell asleep. And that's what my day looked like until the interview, which really sucked because I didn't even get the job. Not getting that job really took a toll on me because I don't think I could have prepared any better than I did. I literally put my entire life aside just to try and get that job. So after that, I kind of had to take a break from the job hunt. Wasn't really motivated to keep going and was just kind of over it. I didn't realize at the time how much I was really dedicating to this because I know when I heard it back it sounded pretty bad, but in that moment I was like, this is just what I had to do. I didn't really have much other options at that time. I knew I just wanted to get this job, so I focused on preparing for that interview. After the rejection, I had to take a step back and reevaluate how I'm living my life because I realized I was in the worst shape of my life. I haven't spent time with my friends and family, and even little things like getting a haircut, cleaning up my room, and eating properly were stuff I decided that wasn't necessary until I got the job. But putting my entire life on pause like that just to get a job in a market that I have such little control over is not really the best way to live, honestly. And I think having a job is or not having a job is one of those things that definitely build anxiety in a lot of people. Obviously there's the need to support yourself, but also the fact that it's a third of your day, which kind of defines a large part of your identity. While I do believe your job shouldn't define who you are, I think not having one makes you feel like there's something missing. For me, since I was spending a lot of time looking for a job and not being able to find one, it made me feel stuck. Because no matter how hard I tried to move forward, I just couldn't. But I then realized I should probably change my perspective because rather than thinking about how hard I'm trying to move forward, I want to focus on how many different ways I can try and get past this obstacle. I started working pretty much for the last 5 years straight. I was pedal to the metal, just grinding, and I realized after I get my next job, I really won't have any time again where I have no real obligations. So I decided to take advantage of this moment and start doing a bunch of things that I've always wanted to do. For me, that starts with spending time with my friends and family. When I said I moved back home with my parents, I actually moved back to my hometown where a bunch of my friends live, and obviously my family's around here. I haven't really got the chance since I moved back to really spend time with them. I've been so focused on trying to get a job that I kind of pushed that to the side. I was like, okay, I can do that once I get a job, but I decided I was not going to spend my life like that anymore. I'm going to start doing things that I want to do despite having a job or not. I started spending time with my friends and family. On top of that, I went on some trips and started focusing on those little things like getting a haircut, playing some video games, setting up my room, and all that type of stuff. It was really good because I kind of felt like I was taking back control in my life. Something I was really missing during the job hunt was a way of being creative. I've always enjoyed creating things, whether it's videos, clothes, or graphics. Having a form of creative outlet was necessary for me and something I was gravely deprived of when I was doing the job hunt. I'm happy now because I have an even bigger focus on it than even before when I had a job. So that's something I'm really excited for. I also went to my first NFL game, which was definitely an experience I'll never forget. Even prior to the job hunt, because I was working so much, I never really got a chance to focus or follow sports as closely as I used to, which really sucks because it was definitely something that was a big part of my life, and I get to make it a priority now. I got to watch pretty much every game of these NBA playoffs, and these playoffs have been insane. I also want to get back in shape because even though I was never a pro athlete, I always want to be in shape enough to play the sports that I want to play. On top of that, I finally decided to start that business because, of course, having a job is nice because you get money, but I mainly wanted that because I want to be in a place where I can learn and develop my skills. When it comes to making money, I prefer being a little more entrepreneurial with that. So starting a business is a bit of fresh air for that and lets me scratch that itch of, running a business. Even though I decided to prioritize all these other things, that doesn't mean I just gave up on getting a job. I don't like quitting, so I'm gonna still be on the hunt for a job. I just decided not to have as much weight on it because I still want a job where I can develop certain skills, and I'm a big fan of tech. So being a software engineer really lets me learn and build new skills in an industry that I really enjoy. So yes, I'm going to focus on every other aspect of my life, but that doesn't mean I'm going to neglect job hunting either, because that's also a part of my life. I just don't want to be my entire life. This video also starts the beginning of something else. I want to start documenting my life. I want to be able to look back at what I've done, because for lack of a better phrase, you only live once, and these moments turn to memories. So I want to be able to look back at them and experience them again in the future and kind of relive what made me me. I'm turning 26 in a few days, so if I had to look back a year ago and compare my life, it doesn't really look like much has changed. I'm still living with my parents, still got no job, still got no business. But that doesn't mean I haven't grown. I'm definitely not the same person I was last year, and that's really what matters. Just because you can't see progress that was made doesn't mean there was no progress made. And I'm kind of just excited. I'm going into year 26 with a lot more options and a lot more focus than I did any other year. So I hope that's how it's gonna be every year going forward. I think even though I felt stuck without a job, now I have so many more things that I'm focused on that kind of make up for it, or not make up for it, but make me feel less stuck than I was, I guess, last year. So this is more a promise to myself to make sure, chapter 26, I'm better me than chapter 25, whatever that looks like. By the way, I really think it's funny how our age is kind of zero indexed. Like, our first year living, we're 0. So when we turn 1, we've already lived our first year on, alive. I just thought that was pretty cool. So, when you're 10, or when you turn 10, you're actually starting your 11th year of being alive. So we're celebrating the years that we've, like on our birthdays, we're celebrating the years that we've lived, not really the year we're going into. I don't know, I just thought it was pretty funny. Or interesting, not funny.